Bland says, it's like, he says, don't major in the minors. You know what I mean? Like, don't be like a young fighter, a couple of fights. I got a nutritionist, I got a physio, I got someone that jerks me off every third day. You know what I mean? And then you're not in the gym every single day for hours and hours on end working hard. Don't major in the minors. Don't do the cryotherapy and the ice baths and shit like that, and then miss wrestling. Like, it's like you have to do the heavy lifting if you want those 1% things to really matter at the end of the day. It's just the level that we're at now. It's just you're fighting the top echelon guys in the world. You're competing in the UFC. Like all of these 1% things can be the difference between winning and losing at that level.
I think that's all it is at this level. At your guys' levels, I feel like that's where, because everybody at your stage in the game, everybody's tough. Everybody knows what. Yeah. Everybody has heart. Everybody's good. Everybody's gritty. Everybody's good everywhere. But it's like, who's doing all the extras? Yeah. And when those fights get real tight, real close, you know.
That's it. Like it's something that you can never do. It's when I say like, oh, it's let's say I got asked, oh, who you think is gonna win? Poirier, Gaethje. It's like, that's a 50-50 fight. It's like those guys fight 10 times. He's like, Gaethje knocks him out 5 times. Poirier knocks him out 5 times. But it comes down to who can perform on the night. And it's like, as a fighter, you know to be factual. But you're like, as 99% of the world like walking out there, it's like whoever wins on that night would have always won. That's how 99.9% of the world, everyone except like the actual fighters, like that's the way that they view it. It's like if Poirier knocks him out, they go, oh man, if they fought 100 times, Poirier knocks him out every single time. It's like that. We know that that's not the sport. We know that that's not the way it goes. But you only have like 1, maybe 2, opportunities on the night to get the performance that you want.
And it's such a crapshoot, because you can be on last Saturday, be like, man, last Saturday I would have whooped this guy's ass in the first round. I would have been done. You know, when you go to sparring, and you're like,
timing's a huge thing. Like picked it off like Israel and Volk, like they come up and they just peak at like the perfect time. Man, I used to just be like, we're gonna fight in 12 weeks, so like, fuck, let's get to work, and then just go 100%. And mine was like that. Like you just know the hype, and you get to the fight, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm exhausted. Like I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm injured, I'm exhausted." So I was like, something that I've picked off those guys is timing your energy for like the exact right time. Like you see it with Israel, like he's kind of just like doing the training, but not like performing. You know what? Performing at that level, and then as it gets closer, like the momentum builds, and then like a week out from the fight, like a week and a half out from the fight, like everything's sharp. Like every single session he's performing. So it's like you can learn a lot of stuff off those guys and pick their brains and just like you learn a lot just from observing the way that they approach it.
I'm sure that's been really good for you to help you out, to having two champions, two like of the best of their era right now, and and you'll be able to work with those guys all the time, and I'm sure that's able to lift you up a lot too when in training and stuff like this,
Oh yeah, for sure. Like having those two in the gym is like a crazy advantage.
Yeah, it's like a little secret, little ace in the hole, All right, last one, Danny, just to keep it going. Kind of like something we've been touching on a lot, but I kind of want to hear your perspective on this. So you hear this a lot, right? A lot of people say like, oh, you can't teach heart. But like we've been talking about the whole podcast, like do proper coaching and tweaking your mental game and fixing what your advantages can get better. Can you teach heart? Or is that like, can you, because I always thought you can't teach heart, but now looking back, I'm like, damn, bro, if I would have just had a proper coach with a good, you know what I mean? Like not a proper coach, but like if I would have had like, Zig could have zagged to keep you in there, and maybe it would have been.
Yeah, but you have heart. Like that's a proven fact. You go back and watch your fights. Like you have heart. There's some people that just don't have it, and you can have, you can tick a lot of boxes. You can be like super talented. You can be athletic. You can like work pretty hard. You can tick a lot of boxes. But if a guy goes out there and quit, there's some people that don't have the capacity to handle those emotions. That's what it
is, bro.
That's like what it is. And it's like, at what stage, it just comes to that, like, at what stage you want to get off the ride. You know what I mean? Some people you'll watch and you're just like, some people, I've seen it in the gym. Like, I took like a charity boxing event, like back in New Zealand. And it was like their first sparring session. These guys, they're office workers. It was their first sparring session that they ever had. They put the gloves on and I go, all right, we're just going to ease into it, like a jab versus jab. Like, everyone relax. Bro, this guy gets like, boom, like he gets hit once. I just see him go like this, and he just like walks over to his bag, takes his gloves off, like puts them in his bag, like slowly does his hand wraps up, puts them in his bag, and I was just like, oh, all good. And he just looks at me and he goes, not for me. And I was just like, that's fair though. That's fair. I'd rather you jump off. I'd rather you just get smacked in the nose once and then just go, you know what? This ain't for me. It's like, it's everyone. It's like, the sparring, then your first fight, then you know this. It's like, when do you want to get off the ride? Like that. That's all it comes down to.
Oh my God, when you want to get off the ride? That's a great one, because sometimes you be like, oh my God, I'm fucking done. I cannot do another round. But then if you just get up and you go, you're like, oh shit, 2 minutes in, you get that second win. You don't even know how it happens, bro. When you want to get off the ride. That's going to be the name of this podcast. I love it. Yo, my man Dan. I don't know, dog. I got this thing where, like, I'm a little bit scared of Dan, dog. You're just so cold-blooded, but you've been real chill. I like the new Dan. He's a lot more relaxed now, dog. The old killer Dan that I knew, bro, I don't know. I'll be scared to shoot you a message. Like, oh, you want to do a podcast? But
we're good, Bubba.
But now,
we slow
bro,
down. We slow down.
Man.
Age. Hey.
Age is, oh, my God.
Soften with age.
Yeah.